Hey, y'all. Y'all? Is that it? Okay, everybody sit down.
A couple weeks ago, I went to the doctor, and she said my blood pressure was 120/64. My thoughts were, well, that's fantastic, but I have no clue what that means, what it should mean to me. It sounds like just another fraction, and I don't like math, so of course, no, whatever. With high blood pressure becoming an epidemic in the U.S., though, it's important to know how to take blood pressure. My boyfriend has hypertension due to his high blood pressure, and both my parents have high blood pressure. More than likely, there are 3 or 4 people around you that have high blood pressure problems as well. In order to understand blood pressure, you have to know the proper definition of blood pressure, how to take blood pressure, and what exactly blood pressure means. With that being said, what exactly is blood pressure? According to the Mayo Clinic, blood pressure is the amount of blood the heart pumps and the resistance to blood flow in the arteries. If your heart pumps a lot of blood and your arteries are really narrow, then you're probably going to have high blood pressure. If it goes uncontrolled, high blood pressure can lead to serious problems like a heart attack or stroke. Of course, with every medical condition, there are certain risk factors. As you get older, your risk for high blood pressure increases. Or if you have a family history of high blood pressure, you're more likely to have high blood pressure as well. If you don't exercise, have too much salt in your diet, and there is such a thing as too much, or are super stressed all the time, then yeah, you're going to have high blood pressure. So if you've paid attention so far, you'll notice that these are all things that you can prevent. Well, except for the family history bit. For the unfortunate few, sorry, you're stuck with it, and you can blame mom and dad for it later. But now that you know the definition, the next best thing to do is to take blood pressure. If you know how to take blood pressure, then you know to do frequent checks, and these frequent checks of blood pressure will alert you to instances of high blood pressure. And if these instances become more and more common, then you'll know to talk to your doctor about hypertension in order to prevent further complications from high blood pressure. So, blood pressure is measured using a BP cuff and a stethoscope. Well, the first thing you want to do is sit down, relax, and breathe. The next thing you want to do is wrap the BP cuff around your entire arm and wrap it so tightly that only one finger can get in between your arm and the cuff. Then you want to place the hose of the BP cuff over the brachial artery and make sure you place the stethoscope on the brachial artery, which is about right here. After all of that, you start inflating the cuff to about 180 millimeters mercury. Now you can inflate it up to 200, but no higher because we don't want to lose an arm here. But this is the most important part. This is where the stethoscope comes in. So, using the stethoscope, you begin slowly and gradually deflating the cuff. Now, listen and you'll start to hear a series of heartbeats. Look at the gauge and notice at what number you start first. You start hearing these series of beats, and that's going to be your systolic pressure. When you start to hear the muffled heartbeats, that's going to be your diastolic pressure. So what on earth do these numbers mean? Well, the systolic pressure refers to the point where your heart is contracted, and the diastolic pressure refers to the point where your heart's at rest. A normal blood pressure is something in the range of 120/60, and a high blood pressure is considered something like 135/85. Now, you got high blood pressure. That's a big problem. It really is. So, what you need to do, what you can do, is start exercising. You can start reducing the amount of salt in your diet. You don't have to cut it out completely, but good amount, not too much. Easy on the fries. Get rid of some of the stress factors in your life. Start making to-do lists, just breathe sometimes. Take a second for yourself. Now, if you're just someone who has terrible luck and none of that really works for you, you can talk to your doctor and maybe they can put you on what's known as a beta blocker, which will make your heart beat at a slower rate with less force, thereby reducing your BP. Well, now that you know how to take blood pressure, you also know the definition and what exactly your results mean when taking blood pressure. So this is going to help you lead a healthy, if not healthier, lifestyle. So all that's left for you to do is go out in the world, test your knowledge, and have the skills.